Hello, this is Janan Sarwar. I'm here today with the Shaky Quaky reading and writing Grandma Kelly, and we're here to talk about her debut book, Shaky Quaky Jake. So, Grandma Kelly, how does it feel to be able to hold that book in your hand? And you have a copy yourself, right?
I am just shaky with excitement.
Yeah.
It is it is thrilling beyond words to think this is going out into the world.
Can you tell everyone just a little bit about what Shaky Quaky Jake is about?
Shaky Quaky Jake is a little guy that has shaky quakies like I do because essential tremor is also not age dependent. So there are kids who have shaky quakies like grown-ups do. And he has a really bad day and gets to spend some time with his grandma and work through his shaky quakies and go back to school the next day and have a pleasant surprise.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, if you don't mind holding up your book. So here we are with our copies of Shaky Quaky Jake. And I want to ask you, Kelly, what has been the best reaction you've personally had of someone in your life seeing a copy of this book in real life?
Oh, my mom saw it, and the second she opened it and saw my name, said, "Your name," and started crying because she knows how long I've waited to have a book come out that I could share with young people.
How long have you been working on this project?
This project I've been working on for about 4 years, and it started out as a story about a grandma that had the shaky quakies. But then the more investigating I did, I found out that kids have it too. And I realized there wasn't any books. Ours is the only book that covers essential tremor. Essential tremor is a rhythmic shaking of the hands, the trunk, the legs, the head. You can see that I am shaky quaky this morning. But if you were a child, can you imagine going to school, trying to write, learn to write with the pencil, eating, brushing your teeth? All those kinds of mundane things are very difficult to do some days.
Who is this book for?
This book is for the kids who aren't being depicted in any other books, but more importantly, it's for the kids who have friends who have differences.
Yes.
Every child deserves to be treated with respect and kindness and empathy, especially those that have differences from our of each other. Our perspective of how we look at the others around us colors our whole community, and we need to respect each other.
What is your thought when you hear the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover?
Oh, you can't judge a book by its cover. Precious hearts are behind
Facade.
ugly facades and um, physical difficulties. A heart, it can be good and kind, even if it's hidden behind a wheelchair or braces or the inability to look someone in the eye, as some of our neurodivergent kids have a hard time with. But that doesn't change the person's value. Everyone is valuable just as they are without having to change. The value is there. And we need to just remember that in all our interactions.
You mentioned that this book is for people and for children with essential tremors, as well as children who don't have essential tremors or maybe have never heard of it. Why is this so important to you?
Because I really, really want kids to not be afraid of what they see that's different in those around us. They're going to run into people that shave. They're going to run into people that are in wheelchairs or missing a leg, or even a lot of disabilities that you can't see. And if we take the time to be kind to each of those individuals, we will be doing a service to our community, and life will be much smoother for those around us.
So you've heard of the phrase windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors by Rudy and Sims Bishop. Can you tell the audience listening what your thoughts are about that concept, windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors?
Well, I hope that this book is both a sliding glass door and a window and a mirror.
Okay,
I hope that the children can see that it's okay. In the story, Jake gets really frustrated, and everyone deals with frustration,
yeah,
and how we deal with it determines the course of our life. And so I hope that it's a mirror for that. I also hope that it's a window that you can look into how life is different for other people, and a sliding glass door that you could go through and help someone like Jake.
that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I absolutely hope that this book, Shaky Quaky Jake, can reach those heights. I can't wait for its debut. Are you excited about it? When's the debut?
Oh, it comes out March 1st, 2024, and I will have some downloadable information for teachers and caregivers on my website, kellydroberts.com. And you can go there when the book comes out, and we'll have information available for you to use in your classroom or in your home. Parents, we really want you, as much as a teacher would, to think about how you approach life and the people that are different and look different and act different in your world. And sometimes just bringing it up in a discussion with your kids will help them see that it's okay to be different. They can be different. Their friends can be different. And nobody is the same, but we're all unique.
What's your favorite quote about being unique or
Unique, I think it goes back to the definition of unique,
sure.
which is only one of its kind. If you go back to the Greek,
Yeah,
it's not one of a kind. It's the only one of its kind. So each person in being unique has a place in this world that only they can fill. No one else can.
yes, absolutely. Well, it's been such a journey together personally on a personal note as your friend Kelly, and you being a part of this journey and learning about essential tremor. I had not heard of it. I still meet people that are healthcare providers that have not heard of the condition. And they're amazed when I say that for actually the fact that it impacts children and adults and how it's different than Parkinson's and so many facts about it. So where are some places that have been resources for you to tell other
Oh,
people about essential tremor?
um, I use the International Essential Tremor Foundation, and they're listed in the back of the book. There's a note from me about my experience as someone who struggles with tremors, and they provide packets of information. If you know someone that needs more resources, their website is spectacular and has ideas even for caregivers, or say you have a friend who experiences essential tremor. The thing is essential tremor is the largest neurological disorder in the world. It's not just in the United States, it's all over the world. And there are 10 million people who have it here in the United States. So you're going to probably run into someone who has it. And if they don't, maybe they have Parkinson's, maybe they have MS, maybe they have muscular dystrophy. All of them need to be treated with kindness and fairness. And remember that inside, we're all the same. We all have emotions that are good and bad, and we all feel frustration at times, just like Jake does in his story. You can help change that frustration into something that would make their life so much easier by just being understanding and empathetic.
Do you consider yourself an advocate for children that have ET? You yourself suffer, you mentioned, or experience ET. How long have you had ET?
I was diagnosed in 2013, but I had it for several years before, but it was just how I was, and I never thought there was anything that they could do about it. For some people, like myself, I take a medication which helps dramatically, despite the fact that I'm still quite shaky, and stress and lack of sleep and caffeine. I mean, there's a number of things that affect how shaky you can be. But there are also a couple medications. Unfortunately, they've been using the same medications for 40 years.
Yes.
So we really need to get on the ball and get some new, better medications. They also have a procedure called DBS, where they go in and they put stimulation in your brain in a certain place, and then you wear a battery pack, and they adjust the wavelength,
Yes.
and that can help some people. They have guided MRI treatments now and focused ultrasound. So they're working on it, but some of us aren't necessarily good candidates for the direct brain stimulation
Right.
or some of the other ones.
Yes.
So by being more understanding of everyone, and it's so much bigger than ET, guys. I mean, everyone you meet is struggling with something. Everyone you meet is struggling with something. You don't know what they're struggling with. It could be seen, it could be unseen. Jake and his grandma talk about what people struggle with.
Right.
And all those around you are struggling with something. So it doesn't hurt you to be kind.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything to smile at someone, make direct eye contact. You're not out a penny. And you may have changed that person's perspective on the whole day. They may have been to a point where they were ready to give up.
Yes.
And your response is what they needed to get through the day. So think about that when you come across anyone that you perceive as different, or just someone that looks like they're having a bad day.
Absolutely. I wanted to read two quotes of people that have read this book, and I wanted you to tell and share a little bit about who they are to you. The first one, Shaky Quaky Jake, is a lovely book highlighting essential tremor, ET, in children. I know how hard life can be with shaky hands, like Jake. We cannot do things the way others can, but when we work out a shaky way, we can do anything. Don't give up. Have a great shaky day, my friends. Do you mind introducing who quoted that?
That is from Shaky Nan. Nicole Wilton in New South Wales, Australia, has essential tremor. And
Yeah.
she has started, I guess it's a ministry, it's her life calling
Yeah.
to get the news out there that people are shaky and that this is what we need to do to help them. And she has a YouTube channel where she does things, everyday things, and gives you a chance to see what the struggle is for someone with ET. And, you know, if you want to know more about ET and see what it looks like in action, go find Shaky Nan. She's she's a sweetheart. She's going to read this book on her YouTube channel, so everyone will be able to hear it. And um,
Yes, it's really exciting. Shaky Nan, she's an essential tremor advocate. That's what she calls herself. She is on YouTube. I was most fascinated by just watching her doing something as simple as straightening her hair and putting on makeup, and just how having that shaking, that rhythmic shaking from ET, how it can impact, and how she braces herself or sets herself up to adapt. And I love what you said, being able to have this book read and make it accessible to anyone. The book will also be read on Salam Storytime, my daughter's podcast. So we're really excited about that opportunity. It'll be out. And then I'll read one last quote and then we can close this session. This quote says, "It is phenomenal. The story and illustrations are exceptional and represent ET with accuracy." Tell us about who said that quote.
that's Dr. Keith Kaufman, and he's a pediatric neurologist in Kansas City. And he spends his life working with kids who have not just ET, but he also works in the Tourette's unit and wants to help the kids be accepted for who they are as they go about their lives. One thing that stuck with me when we talked to him was he said they can't play with Legos. And Legos are universal.
Right.
We all have stepped on a Lego. I have.
Yes.
They're they're
That's a
just a
universal
passage
pain.
of
It's a
they're a
rite of
passage
passage.
of childhood
Yes.
to get to play with Legos. And his patients, most of them cannot, because to hold the tiny bricks is too difficult to stick them together and to pull them apart. So just little things like that that you don't think of as being a problem. Pouring something into a cup, eating soup with I eat salad with special utensils that have weights in them,
Yes.
and just little things like that.
Even
Using the computer mouse,
writing.
writing. Oh, writing is some days just isn't going to happen. So Dr. Kaufman has dedicated his life to helping these kids, and for him to give us a stamp of approval that we are portraying this illness correctly really means a lot to me.
This has been a part of the journey for me too, to meet incredible people like Dr. Kaufman, to be able to see through a window and learn about Shaky Nan, to learn about you, and to kind of now, as you put it, it's like a sliding glass door as we enter each other's lives and we learn about each other. And I really do hope that the tools, the resources that you have at the back of the book and on your website, kellydroberts.com, as well as globalbookshelves.com. We will make sure to link to it. It will have some incredible resources that will be helping, as you said, parents, caregivers, teachers, any advocate, or anybody that wants to make a difference and learn about this. It's a story that is universal and, as you said, remarkably so, a story that no other publisher has published about ET that we know of for children. And if that's wrong, I hope someone can correct us, and we'd love to read that book and learn about it and help amplify it, because that's what this is all about. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for talking about this. I can't wait until March 1st and for all that's to come. And, thank you so much again, Kelly.
Thank you, Janan, for your vision to see this book come to life. From the beginning, when you first read it forever ago,
Yes.
you knew that it was an important story that needed to get out there. And Global Bookshelves is opening those sliding glass doors right and left. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.